Hi, I'm Scott Seeley. I'm pastor here at First Presbyterian Church, and I'm in our church library because I want to share 3 books with you. These are 3 books I wish every church member would read. The first one is Von Roberts, God's Big Picture. I picked this one because we need to understand the Scripture. We need to understand the Bible deeper and better. And I've found that a lot of times the problem of someone who's even grown up in the church and who's read the Bible and heard Bible stories, a lot of times is that those stories are just kind of random collections. The way a lot of Sunday schools are taught and the way we cover things, it can be pretty common that somebody's kind of heard different stories about David and Noah and the Revelation and Paul, but they haven't really got a good grasp of the sequence of these events, the chronology, how far apart they were, and how they hold together. The other problem is, I think many of us have grown up with the Bible being taught kind of like the way we learned Aesop's fables. Here's a story, and the story has a moral point, and the moral of this story is be faithful, be nice, serve others. And we can take that and make them really just stories about how we need to be, good examples for us to follow, or warnings for us to miss. And the Bible has that, but that misses the big picture, the big story, which is the Bible is about Jesus. It's about God's big picture, traces the theme of how God is working to save people. And if you read this, you'll get a better understanding of the big narrative of Scripture, and you'll get a big understanding of how they point ultimately to Jesus. After that, when you read, you should be able to put the prophecy or the story or the letter within the context of the big picture that you'll have a better grasp on. The other book, the second book I have, is I'm a Church Member by Tom Rainer. I love this one because it really talks about what it means to be a church member, to be a disciple, something very challenging for a lot of us to get past the idea that the church is primarily a religious service provider, and to getting a better idea that this is a collection of people that I've made promises to, that I'm serving Christ with, and people I've promised to serve. So it's a very thin, good book on church membership. The third book is 2 Ways to Live. This is actually kind of a text for a group study that we've run several times, and I love this for a couple of reasons. The basic idea is this is a book to help teach the gospel. It's out of Matthias Media. They're based in Australia. I have a lot of people in the church now, because they've gone through this course, they feel like if they share the gospel, they're not doing it properly unless they put on an Australian accent. You don't want folks in Tennessee doing that too much. The book is a course to teach you how to share the gospel. But what's great about it is it helps you make sure you've understood the gospel, because you can't share it unless you understand it. So it's a good way to get a deep understanding for yourself, clarity of what the gospel is. It has parts on kind of answering questions. So if you're afraid of questions that might come up as you share the gospel, it has it has some ideas of ways you can respond to those questions, which is also good because a lot of members have questions still, and it's a good way to answer those. The other part of it is, the third thing is, in a lot of ways, it's really just a very basic, very simple, systematic theology. It goes through the doctrines of creation, the doctrine of sin, how we're redeemed, the future we look forward to. It's not full or complete, but it's really a good basic introduction to theology for someone, and helps them also to be equipped to share the gospel. So that is, if you work through these, if you read something like this, you'll have a better understanding of what the Bible teaches. You'll have a better understanding of how you are to be a member of the local community of faith, and you'll have a better understanding of what you believe in a more systematic way, and have some equipping to share that faith with others. Hope you find these helpful. Thanks.